Hi there, my name is Phil from 2020 Sounds. Thank you for clicking on our channel. Today's video is about hiring a band, a DJ, or possibly hiring both, and what are the pros and cons of hiring each and maybe hiring them both collectively. So I did a lot of research into this subject because being a DJ myself, I didn't want to come across in any way, shape or form as being biased. So when I looked at the research and looked at what people said, a lot of people were hiring DJs over bands. And when they were given in their reasoning to why they didn't hire a band over a DJ, my overriding impression was they weren't comparing like for like. A good example was that, hiring a band is a lot more expensive. Well, it's obviously going to be more expensive because you're paying a lot more people to do a job. So, an average band, let's say, is a 3-piece. You've got to pay 3 people as opposed to paying just one DJ. Maybe a DJ charges a lot more because they have a lot more equipment and they have a lot more with it. But you're not then, as I said before, you're not comparing like to like. A band is going to be more expensive because there are more people to pay. It's as simple as that. The other thing people mention as well is that bands have a lot of breaks where DJs don't. And again, really, if you take a step back and you look at that analogy, well, it's obvious they're going to. I mean, they play, I think, maybe two sets, I believe, an hour and possibly 45 minutes with a half an hour break in between. Well, they've got to play all those songs and they've got to sing all those songs. So there's a lot more effort and a lot more involved with a band playing a set than there is a simple DJ, essentially, let's be honest, playing songs, because we don't physically have to do anything. We program a song in and then we play it. So you do have to take into account they're going to have breaks. The other thing people mention as well is how much equipment they have. Well, obviously, they're a band, so they're going to have a lot of equipment. That equipment is going to take a long time to set up. They've got to do a sound check. They've got to do everything to make sure that their performance is going to be absolutely perfect for you on the night. So yes, that does take a lot of time, but that does need to be taken into account. You can't expect a band to set up in the same speed and time as maybe a DJ would, so you have to take that into account. The other thing also someone mentioned as well is that at the end of the evening they drag all their equipment through at the end of the evening. Well, now if you've only hired them till 11 o'clock and your reception goes on till 12, respectively, they're not going to stay around for that last hour until your evening finishes. So yes, they are going to be bringing that equipment through, unless there's obviously a back way for them to get through. So I think really, when having looked at the research, people aren't comparing a band and a DJ with the same breath. Yes, they are more expensive. Yes, they do have a lot more equipment. Yes, they do take a lot more time to set up. And maybe, yes, they don't play for a full 5 hours that maybe the DJ would. But you have to take into account what you're getting as well. You're getting a live experience, people playing songs. And in my experience, when I've been to wedding receptions and I've seen bands play, you have a really, really good atmosphere because you're having live music played. So I always think that if your budget can afford having a band, that you should have a band. But I do believe the best way of going about it is having a band and a DJ, once again, if your budget can allow. Now, I've played along with bands for many, many times, and I've played with some really, really good ones, but equally some that aren't as good. But I'd always say this as well, really, and I don't mean to criticise anyone or particularly anything. We as DJs have a way of structuring an evening, just as a band will have a way of structuring their set. But I think what often gets lost in that really is that they are almost treated as two separate identities when they need to be treated as the same. Because in order for an evening to work, the band and the DJ need to work together if they're going to work together on the evening. So typically, obviously, a DJ is going to have a lot more songs. Take myself into account. I've got 32 odd thousand songs in my music library. So a band aren't going to have that huge repertoire of songs to pull from. So they're going to have the songs that they know most and best, and the songs that they get the best reaction to. So they're going to play those songs. What typically happens is, sadly from a DJ's point of view, is that they'll finish at 11, say, and then as a DJ you then have to finish the last hour. And they may finish the last 20 minutes with Mr. Brightside, Sex on Fire, Summer of '69, Living on a Prayer, Bohemian Rhapsody, and then so they're probably the 5 biggest songs you're going to end an evening with. Band stops, everyone's euphoric, they've all been singing along, people on tables, jumping around, and then you as a DJ going, right, now you follow that. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. So I would say really, if you're going to have a band and a DJ play, you need to have the foresight to have them have a conversation and work out how they're going to work collectively. It seems silly really for a DJ to finish the last hour if the band can have a much better last hour with all the euphoric songs. You just have to structure in a different way. Typically what will happen when a DJ and a band starts is that the DJ will start for the first hour, maybe do the first dance, and then it'll die down, and then buffet will come out, and then the band starts, and then they stop after 45 minutes to an hour, then you start, then the band does their last set, and then you then do as a DJ the last hour. It needs to work completely differently to that really. It needs to be really that the band is the mainstay of your evening entertainment, and the DJ is there to accompany the band. So I always think really is that gear it to having that really good last hour, that last, so as a band and as a DJ, you work together to go, okay, well, that song will probably work better at that time, and maybe if I play this music at this time while we're having this going on, it'll work better here. And you structure the whole evening as a band and as a DJ collectively to give everyone a really good evening, rather than just having, a band's going to do this bit and then you're going to do that bit and then you're going to do that, and then you just work it out in the night. And there never seems to be, from my experience really, a conversation in place where it's a lot structured and you know what's playing. And I think that's really important. As I said before, if you're just hiring a band on their own, take into account they're going to be more expensive because obviously there are more people playing. Take into account they're going to have a lot of equipment to set up and they will need to do a sound check, so it will take a little longer. Take into account what time they're going to finish as well, and see if they can start a little later and maybe have that, so you've still got the band for the last hour. Maybe have a conversation with them with that. If you're just having a DJ, then great, then obviously there are many DJ packages out there which you can look for. But I'd always say if you've got a larger budget for your entertainment, then look to book both. Book both and then structure it, as I've said before, in a way where you have this really great evening planned, where one can jump in and the other, and it just feels like one great evening, rather than being we've got a band and we've got a DJ and they're both working, and it seems a little lost sometimes, is what I'm trying to say. So I hope you found that informative. If you do have any questions, then obviously please do put them in the comments below. And that's it. So thank you very much and take care. Thank you.